Hi guys, happy Tuesday. Know that I didn't get posted yesterday, but I got home from work and I was a little tired. So just wanted to post real quick today and give a quick update on Oscar. He's doing well. The Botox seems to have helped a little bit. His headaches are still averaging about a 3, still getting up to about 5 when he's just tired or just had a long day. So I appreciate the continued prayers, and we're just going to keep pushing forward and seeing what the Lord has. The rest of our family is doing great. My mother actually does require prayer as well. They found out yesterday she's at 9% kidney function. So my sister is doing everything she can to make sure that mother's getting the treatment that she needs. And then, of course, dealing with my great niece who's been in and out of the hospital so much recently. So I do appreciate all the prayers for the family. Today, really quickly, I wanted to talk about pain. So if you notice the title of today's motivator, it's Press In. So pain is one of those things that nobody likes to think about. And most of us spend our entire life avoiding pain. So I know that there are some people out there that love tattoos and, they're fine getting broken bones and things like that. I am not one of those people. I actually work really hard to avoid pain as much as I can. But I've learned over the years with having CF and then the CF related arthritis that comes with it, and then having fractured a pelvis, I've become very familiar with pain over the years. And I learned how to manage the pain and oftentimes be able to completely ignore the pain by redirecting. So that's one of the coping skills that we use, or I use personally. I know that Oscar's been working on using as well, is redirecting and just trying to keep your focus on something else when you're in pain. But I was kind of thinking about this the other day and was kind of thinking about life and how most of us spend a majority of our life looking for comfort. So we're desperately seeking comfort in our life. We're like, Lord, I just want peace. I want to be at rest. I want to have comfort in my life. We look for comfortable houses. We look for comfortable cars. I don't know about you, but I look for comfortable clothes. I like things that are soft and comfortable on my skin. And so we're often looking for comfort, and a lot of our energy is spent just seeking that comfort, that we forget that sometimes we need to learn how to function in pain. So, of course, we have had a little bit of an example of this lately where basically the last 3 years have just been a little bit of a roller coaster for us. And I'm just being transparent this morning and saying that most of the time it's been okay, but there have been moments where we've questioned our ability to continue to maintain. And how do you function? How do you move forward when you feel like you have so many things coming against you? And it made me think about the two different types of pain management. So if you have multiple children, you may have these variations in your home, or maybe you have friends this way. So I think about some people who get a bruise, okay? And they'll do everything they can to not touch it. Like, don't touch it, it's super sore, And then I've seen some people who are like this, like they're like, oh, that hurts, oh, that hurts, oh, that hurts. And it's like, why are you touching it? But they press it, they press in, they're like, yeah, but I got it, I can handle it. And whether they realize it or not, what they're doing is actually conditioning themselves to tolerating pain. And I know that by nature, we're not supposed to experience pain, and pain is supposed to be an alert and an indicator in your brain that something's wrong. And we know physically, because of the foods that we eat, the lifestyles that we keep, etc., a lot of people have diseases like fibromyalgia and arthritis and things like that cause constant pain. And so we weren't created to be in pain all the time, but the Lord has given us this great ability to be able to redirect and to learn to tolerate pain as it comes. And so my question to you this morning is, what are you doing in life? Are you working so hard to just avoid pain that you maybe are avoiding situations that you're supposed to be in? Are there life events that you're supposed to be participating in? Or maybe there's a job that you were supposed to take, but it was scary, or you were afraid of rejection or afraid of failure. So are you missing out on life because you're refusing pain? Because you don't want to do anything that's uncomfortable. You don't want to step outside the box. You don't want to try anything new because it's unknown, it's unfamiliar, and I may not succeed. Well, the Lord sent us here to not just take up air, but to be a witness and a testimony, and to bring as many people with us to heaven as we can. And that means sometimes being uncomfortable. Anytime that we're doing something that is outside of our nature or outside of our character, it's uncomfortable, or maybe it's something the Lord's trying to grow in you, and it's uncomfortable to grow. But what would happen if you did step out and do that thing that you've been so afraid to do, but you've been afraid of rejection or afraid it wouldn't go well? What would happen if you stepped out in that and it wound up being the best thing that ever happened to you? What would happen if you, instead of working hard to avoid pain, you start doing whatever the Lord drops in your heart in spite of pain? If this hurts, so be it. Because if God calls us to something, if he's putting something on our heart, if he's pressing us in a direction, it may be uncomfortable, but it's for a reason. And so we have to be willing to endure a little pain. I think there's a scripture that says that pain may last for the night, or sorrow may last for the night, but joy comes in the morning. Oftentimes when the Lord pushes us and puts us in these places of being uncomfortable, we have to decide, are we going to run and be like, nope, I'm good. Nope, can't do this. I'm out. Or are we going to press in and say, all right, I got this. Let's do it. And it may not be comfortable, and there may be really bad days, and there may be days that you just want to sit in bed and just not do anything. I understand that. But as long as you're not avoiding pain all the time, don't miss out on what God has for you because you're afraid. Because you're afraid of it shaking your apple cart, so to speak. Maybe you have your life right where you want it to be, and you're comfortable. I'm going to tell you, the most dangerous thing in a believer's life is comfort. Let's just sit with that one for a second. Because when we lived in Cape Girardeau, right before we moved, the Lord was really dealing with our hearts about comfort. And the thing that he kept telling Oscar and I, which was super frustrating for us, but he was not wrong, was that we were too comfortable. We had good jobs, we had a beautiful home, we had wonderful children, and yes, we had our struggles, but we were comfortable. And I think that in comfort, if you're too comfortable, you become ineffective. And because you're it's kind of like being on the couch, and you get all snuggled in on the couch, and then the dog wants to go to the bathroom. And you're like, but I'm happy here. I don't want to get up and let the dog off the couch. But in order to be effective, or not have a dog piddle in your floor, you got to get up, and you got to be willing to get uncomfortable so that God can use you. And so I know for us, we have been enduring some interesting challenges, and there have been moments that they feel like they're coming from each direction, but it's also been joined with such a weird sense of peace. God has walked with us, and he has been with us, and even through the diagnosis of a tumor and everything that we've gone through, the Lord has brought us just a sense of peace that I've got this. You don't have to worry about it. You do what you know to do. I got you. I got the rest. And there has been such a sense of peace in embracing the pain. Instead of running from it, instead of freaking out, trying to fix it, make it better, instead of trying to be in control of it, you give up the control to God. You admit that you cannot manage this life by yourself. If you've been trying to manage your life on your own, I bet you're tired. I bet you're worn out. I bet you're exhausted. And maybe you're tired, worn out, and exhausted and don't know why. Are you trying to manage your life without God's help? Because if you are, I can save you some pain and tell you it's not going to work. The only peace that I feel like we have ever had has come when we just rest in God's arms. We do what he says to do, and he works out the details. And I don't have to know how this story ends. I don't have to know what's going to happen next. All I have to know is I'm being obedient, and he's going to work out the details. So as you think about kind of the dealing with pain, I thought of two different ways and what you get. So if you constantly look for comfort, you're going to become complacent and ineffective. So think of old and crusty, okay? If you choose to press into that pain, press into the Lord and be like, God, I don't understand it. I don't get it. I don't got to, because you got it. You got a plan. I don't even have to know it. I just trust that you're directing this path. That's going to bring toughness and grit. And I know a few years ago, the Women's Encounter, the kind of theme was grit and grace. And it was talking about being able to be a woman of grace and have grace and gentleness and kindness and all of those things, but have a grit about you that you're not going to bend and break at the first challenge in your life. You're not going to bend and break when things happen that you didn't expect to happen, but you know that you have a God that's going to take care of it. Because the reality is, I'm not the source. Oscar's not the source. We never have been. God's given us the ability to do the things that we've done, and he's made that work. But when those things aren't available, God is still the source. So I know that's a lot this morning. Early on a Tuesday morning, I just had a break between clients, so I wanted to jump on here really quickly and just share my heart this morning that I want you to be able to walk with grit. I want you to be able to press in to whatever it is that God's trying to do in your life so that you can have peace and you can be effective. And I want you to stop letting fear keep you from that thing that God wants to bless you with, that thing that seems so impossible, but he keeps stirring it in your heart. Don't let the devil rob you of the blessing from God by trying to avoid pain at all costs. Just take it, embrace it, and trust that if God's bringing you to a situation, one, he knows how it's going to end, and two, he's going to give you the strength and the grace to manage and endure. So I hope that's helpful to someone, and that's been helpful for us, just remembering the grace that God has given us. And we will continue to try to keep you guys updated. I'll try to get back on schedule, getting my Monday Motivators posted on Monday. But in the meantime, I hope you guys have a great week. We love you. If you need prayer or anything like that, please message us. Give us a call. We love praying with people. That's something that we can do no matter how bad we're feeling. So hope you have a great week. God bless you. Bye.